Hi, Franca. Firstly, thank you for joining us today and taking part in this video series that we're putting together where we're looking at agentic AI agents. Those two things often get intermeshed. But first of all, welcome to the conversation. How are things for you?
Hi, Trevor. Yeah, it's really nice talking to you today. It's a really nice weather in Munich, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to our discussion.
Very good. Now, I know you're doing something around the AI. You mentioned you're studying something in the AI space. Just very, I know it's not necessarily related to this, but just very quickly, what's that you're studying at the moment?
Yeah, so basically, I'm a sales and marketing manager for Hotellistat, but yeah, I've been also pursuing my master's degrees over the past few years, and I'm currently writing my thesis. Actually, yeah, dives right into the field of our conversation today. So I've been asking myself for a while now, how can fully digital and AI-powered agents be integrated into an existing company structure? How can they help, yeah, with processes, not just like from the tech perspective, but also like from the practical day-to-day, yeah, business point of view?
Interesting, very interesting. I'll be intrigued to see how that develops. But for now, I'm going to narrow you down, and we're going to we're going to look at kind of what we were saying. You know, how will AI agents impact the hotel industry, hotel technology ecosystem? But where we really wanted to narrow the conversation is that a lot has been written about agentic AI and AI agents this year. But a lot of that has been focused on how it will impact the traveler, the way that they find hotels. A lot of it has been written about hotels could be utilizing these AI agents, but not a lot has been discussed about its impact on people like yourself, the actual hotel tech providers. Um, and so I guess the first question and how we're going to kick this off is to look at it from a perspective of how we all tend to look at different things, from either an opportunity that AI agents present to hotel tech providers, but then we'll also flip it after that into looking at the threats that it might pose. So let's start with the positive angle
Yeah.
and get your thoughts on what opportunities you feel AI agents and agentic AI brings to hotel tech providers like yourselves.
Yes. So overall, new technological possibilities offer always like incredible opportunities, not only for us as like hotel tech providers, but also, yeah, for the hoteliers in the end. For example, through all the AI developments and like the network thinking that comes along, there was like kind of a shift, I would say, also among the tech providers. So there are like now open APIs, no interface fees anymore, and it makes it so much easier like to connect systems, to build even more efficient and more autonomous solutions than also for our clients, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can then really start solving pain points and helping streamline and automate time-consuming processes with AI. So maybe, yeah, let's take a step back and clarify what are AI agents in the first place. So AI agents or AI-powered systems, they do not really, react only on the input and follow then a clear pattern. So they can really work independently, solve tasks, make decisions by using various tools and pursuing really the goal. And the AI agent is like free to make a decision, of course, in their defined degrees of freedom, but they can choose if they want to follow path A or B or C or D or whatever. So yeah, for Hotellistat, this means with agentic AI, we can involve our RMS, for example, into a co-pilot that supports not only decisions but executes them when authorized. So here we go again. Basically, we benefit from even more like data sources thanks to the even more connected ecosystems like CRM, cash register, procurement system. So yeah,
Makes
that's
a
that's basically taking and acting based on each other.
Makes a lot of sense. And are you, as a company, so you're looking at obviously how AI can be embedded into your solutions that you are providing. What about from actually internally, from a company perspective? How are you looking at ways in which you're utilizing AI to make actually Hotellistat more efficient and the team more efficient, or is the focus still very much on bringing this technology into your solution rather than into the company per se?
I think you first need to understand it yourself to bring it then into the solution. So of course, we're also working with a lot of AI tools within the organization.
Hmm.
But of course, the focus is always on, then using our knowledge and all the experience we gained to, give it back to our clients to, further develop our solution and to really bringing also an AI agent, an RMS AI agent to life for them to
No,
help them.
makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And in terms of, let's flip the coin from the opportunities into the threats. Because as with any new technology, there are always positives, but there are always some challenges, as we're seeing with other areas of technology that we've noticed over the last few years. What are your thoughts on threats that AI agents, agentic AI, could pose? And I mean this in terms of specifically to hotel tech providers rather than other elements of agentic AI.
So I would say the biggest threat is to become irrelevant. So ignoring what is happening around us, what AI agents can do,
Hmm.
and how we can integrate them basically. So also all the tech providers they need to evolve. They if they continue to offer like static dashboards and solutions instead of acting dynamic and giving the clients actionable tools. They're being basically risk to or the risk being bypassed by other new AI native solutions, I would say. So yeah, and the other threat is maybe that on the other hand, if you want too much to like put the pressure on the clients to use all the new stuff and forget basically about the old way. So it's fine about finding the balance. So sometimes it's maybe not necessary to have like a fancy AI agent. Sometimes it might be enough to have like a well-made and thoughtfully implemented automation.
Hmm. No, I think that was your first point. I agree with both points. I think are very relevant actually, because you're right. It is very easy to think, oh, so much is written about these agents. I need to look at these agents, but sometimes it isn't that level that you need it to be at.
Yeah.
There could be a much simpler solution to the problem that you're trying to solve. I think the point about companies um, becoming obsolescent, irrelevant, I think was something that we wondered whether or not that was a genuine threat. And the more that we explored it, I think that's what prompted us to think about doing this series. Because if you're sitting there as a hotelier and you're thinking, do I go and invest in one way or the other? There can be a lot of noise, and we'll talk about that a little later in this discussion. So you actually could see a risk where some companies, if they don't move fast enough, could become obsolete, could become extinct, because we're seeing consolidation already happening in the market, aren't we?
Yes, exactly. That's what we are seeing. For example, news is going, out and buying systems. Lighthouse acquired the hotel network, and so on. So there is a lot happening at the moment in the market. And I would say that it really depends on the depth of the technology. But yes, some companies can become obsolete. We're entering a phase now where, being technology advanced isn't enough. You need to be like to have like a solution that is really interoperable, data centric, and really fast moving, fast adaptable to what's happening around. Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, on the other side of the threat coin, how can there be other sides to the threat? But there's like two angles. It's like, one, if you don't adopt, because I could also see a chance where there are other companies that are set up outside of the hotel industry who are developing AI agentic, they're agentic AI businesses. You know, they've already developed AI agents for typical workflows. And I guess one of the things that I looked at was, well, okay, is the hotel industry unique in some way, shape, or form that maybe protects it from that? Or do we see a situation where companies out there that haven't yet targeted the hotel industry could bring certain things? Maybe it might be in finance, or it might be in HR, or and then they could start to move into other areas. What are your thoughts on non-specialized hotel agentic AI businesses coming into the industry?
Of course, I'm pretty sure that if there's a solution out there that somehow makes sense for a hotelier to use, then for him it's like a no-brainer to say, okay, it's not developed by hoteliers, but it will work for my property, for my use case, so I will take it. So that's basically I think the approach that everybody is following. So, but there are also now companies that are really entering the market, especially for the hotel industry. So I don't think that that is really a threat, so that we are becoming obsolete as hotel tech providers in the hotel industry. But yeah, for example, I don't know if you know In Hotel, for example, they are already starting to offer really AI agents that are trained for specific roles to share their knowledge, offer suggestions for like the human team mates, and streamline the processes like the day-to-day task we've talked about.
That makes sense, because I guess a lot of people, particularly, and as you said at the beginning, you're on the sales and marketing side, so people have used, like Salesforce was a company that was mentioned in another conversation I was having that has developed lots of different areas, and they're moving into that AI space. So that would be a classic example of a generic tool that's being used across industries, but you could see how that could evolve for specialist needs.
But from my understanding, I think like that the hotel industry still has a lot of specialty, so that like not every solution is a fit. We really like guest centric, and I think also that AI agents and the degree of freedom bring like complexity. We don't always understand anymore the outcome of something. So it really needs to, the AI agent really needs to understand at least like the area where it is working in, to perform well for the client or for the guests. And
yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Talking about guests and understanding the way a hotel operates, I guess that gets us to look at this through a different perspective and look at what the major hotel groups may be doing, and how they would be leveraging agentic AI. And I guess the question to pose is, do you feel we will start to see a greater divide between like the big management companies and major brands that exist, and the independent, smaller to medium-sized groups? As I could envisage, the larger companies would probably look to harness their data and have a very clean, consolidated data platform that they would then look to build their own agents on top of, rather than necessarily going out and buying different pieces of technology that communicates via these open APIs. But what do I know? You guys are the tech professionals. Do you envisage a similar thing or not?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I think it's still unfolding, and we will know more in the next year, or maybe already in the next month. So as from my perspective, I've seen large hotel groups, yeah, that they are already exploring their own AI ecosystems. Basically, they're starting to think, where do we store our data? What can we do with our data? For example, some days ago, I read like the Wyndham Owners Report, and they said that over 90% of the hotel owners are already leveraging AI in some point. So yeah, of course, they're not yet there that they are using all AI agents, but still there's a lot of interest in that area. So I think that, yeah, there's a lot happening also behind the doors, what we are not aware of right now. But also like Hotel Tech Report described in one of their newsletters, how Marriott and Hilton, like really big hotel groups, are now targeting the AI subject, how they are leveraging it for their use, for their purposes.
Yeah.
So, but again, I would say it's like with PMS systems or channel managers, even if they have the resources to build the system on their own, there will be always hotels that want like to have someone, an expert, and a provider that is, yeah, developing the system on a daily basis and stays up to date, basically. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, we have seen one major group that seemed to be recruiting quite heavily into its data and AI teams, which I guess indicated a direction of travel, which isn't a great surprise. So if we're thinking about that, about, you know, if I put myself in the shoes of a hotelier now, I'm reading all about, you know, AI is everywhere, then it's AI agents, then it's agentic AI, and it's like, okay, right, fine, I get it. And I'm being pressured maybe by investors, by stakeholders, owners, and saying, come on, we need to do something in this space. Now, I can see some potential risks going down specifically related to data, if I think
Yeah.
about it, in both from an internal perspective and an external perspective. But before I share my kind of thoughts and get your view on it, what risks do you see for hoteliers who might, you know, in these early years, who might consider venturing down this agentic AI agent path?
Yeah. In my opinion, I would say the biggest risk here is like the lack of explainability. So basically, if the AI, for example, for Hotellistat, if we give like a pricing recommendation, the hotelier maybe have another gut feeling and wants to set a different price because he can't really get why is the price like this at the moment.
Yeah.
And for cases like this, we developed a system to give it like the black box kind of thing, another structure so that they can see at least some or indicate some data points where the result is coming from. But yeah, so basically I think that's one point, like the explainability, and the different point is like the data quality as well, what you mentioned already. So hoteliers must ask question like, what is the AI exactly doing? Which data sources is it looking at? Can we maybe also audit or override like the AI result? And basically, getting the data streamlined so
Because I guess a
that
lot
the
of that,
AI basically has everything that it needs to work effectively. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting the two examples you give them, because one word that almost brings the two of those together is trust. It's like trust that if I'm being recommended this price, what's it being based on? Can I trust it to be doing that? That's one point you mentioned. And the other then is trust if I'm allowing it to do something, that the data it's actually using as its source is actually trustworthy, is clean, and that it's not basing decisions on something that isn't as pure as it can possibly be. So I think trust is obviously a massive factor that comes with all of these things. What's your view on, from a security point of view? The thing I always fear is if I've got this data and I'm building this agent on top of it, obviously I'm going to be utilizing back to that word trust, a trustworthy provider. but I feel it kind of leaves a potential path into my data for people with a slightly more, let's say, unscrupulous reasons for wanting to access my data. So data security would be one concern. And on the flip side, I would also be thinking about things like, particularly if I'm in Europe, GDPR and having compliance, and how is that data being utilized? What's your take on those two things, the security and compliance?
Yeah, so I think data security is always a good thing here in Germany to talk about, because we're really strict at some point. But then on the other side, when I think about like systems at the moment, there are also hackers that get access to systems. So I think that's always the case. It always has been the case since we put data online and clouds and so on. And I think agents, they won't change it. I mean, but you need to find like a trustworthy supplier in that case that really has like an understanding of it. For example, we also tried for Hotellistat to really break our own system, or to convince our
You
agents
tried
to
to hack
access
your own,
other,
right? Yeah.
to access other hotels' data. So
Oh, right.
basically, and we really, we saw that the AI agent, if you ask him a lot, then he would actually exit. So we said, okay, now we really need to take like measures before we put the agent out,
Yeah.
so that like the agent is not able to access data. So
Wow.
really that the data is stored in a way that it is really only accessible for each agent for each hotel. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. That
that's really,
reinforces the
it's a
point
good
then. Yeah.
point. And I don't think that, everyone is aware that at some point AI is, is also, difficult to handle if
Well, I
you're
just look at it and think, if
testing
that's
it.
looking into my data, if someone somehow, and I don't know this stuff, but if someone somehow can access how it looks into the data, then I, by definition, appear to have access to that data and ask it to provide me what I want. And it just feels like a bit of a security, a potential security weakness. And what
Yeah.
about on the compliance side with how that, I don't know enough about the GDPR and the complexities that might apply to the hotel side of the business. But if you're asking, there must be something in there that if you're asking an agent to do something with that data, I would guess you've got to have some level of compliance to know that what you are asking it to do then fulfills those requirements.
Yes, so actually, I'm not that much into that field, so I can't tell you a lot about the compliance
No,
side.
that's fair enough.
That's my colleagues next door so that I take care of that. But of course, you're completely right. So there are a lot of subject that needs to be discussed, and also that's the responsibility of tech providers, basically, to take care that their solutions are like, safe, and also, data safe for the hoteliers. Yeah. And that can't be the responsibility of the hotelier in the end, because they don't even know how the technology may work. So, yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Final question, then I'll let you go, because you've got far more important things to do than just chat with me all day. So from the perspective of, as we said, the last 6 months, all this has been out in the news. Event organizers are leaning into AI this, AI that. Media, there's articles left, right, and center about it. Great for getting people clicking. Great for SEO, whatever it may be. But if I put myself in the shoes of the hoteliers, there seems to be, or the industry can be very guilty, event organizers, medias can be very guilty of focusing on the newest shiny tech, which seems to promise the world. But from a hotel perspective, I sometimes feel that it could cause, on a very basic level, confusion. Could create some distraction, and our time is focused elsewhere. And as we start to think about our budgets for next year, I also have a slight concern that it could maybe build a degree of hesitation in terms of evaluating, well, should I be investing? Should I be waiting? Should this develop further? What should I be doing? And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity, because I'm sure you're having these conversations on a regular basis, to just get your kind of perspective. And what would you, if a hotelier came to you and said, right, I'm reading all about this stuff, I know you're going to want to sell me Hotellistat, and but I just feel maybe I should hold off. Maybe I should see what these agents bits are doing. And if we haven't convinced them of some of the risks in our last question, maybe you've got another point that you could make to kind of help them get some perspective on what they should be thinking. So what would you be advising them?
Yeah, I would always say that it's good not to focus only on the now situation. What do I need now? So, but also, yeah, look into the future. What will I need then? And then prepare for that. Because if we are waiting too long, then it will be difficult for you and for your team to maybe then integrate like the newest, shiniest tech solution, and you don't even get anymore what it is doing. I think it's always good to go with time. So like taking small steps, maybe implementing an AI agent and still overlook what he's doing. So you don't need to, trust again the agent completely. And I would also say that if you are thinking about implementing an AI solution, really ask all your questions. That's what we are here for. We're like the tech providers. We are able to explain you what the system is doing. What data is it accessing? How can it help you? What are we planning to do for the future? How can we help you there? And then, basically look on, your business and the impact the solution would have for your team, for your business. What would be the return of an investment? So, yeah. To wrap it up, I would say it's always good to go with time to implement new systems, but focus on the now and the future.
That sounds like a very good way to wrap it up. But I really appreciate your insights. I really appreciate your thoughts. I really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for joining us today.